Hi, I'm Liz from Music Education Solutions, and today I want to talk to you about some ideas for the primary curriculum, specifically around composing and how you get the interrelated dimensions of music into your composing activities. So I have here a scarf. And to me, the idea of a scarf is quite a British thing, isn't it? I mean, it's normally cold enough for us to have a scarf most of the year. And when it's warm enough for us not to have a scarf, we're also pale and unused to the sun that we have to wear one anyway to stop us getting burnt. So if my scarf was going to sing a song, it would sing da 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 da. Da 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 da. I'm sure most of you will recognise that tune, obviously, as Rule Britannia. Deliberately haven't put the words in for a reason that you'll see in a minute. So, given that my scarf is a scarf and it sings that scarf song, if I then gave my pupils a selection of different scarves, how could they show that they were holding a scarf, but their scarf is not exactly the same as my scarf? So it's got to sing that scarf song, hasn't it? Da 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 da. But it's not exactly the same as my scarf, so it's got to sing it in a different way. So, for example, a group who was given this scarf here, which you can see is enormous and has lots and lots of lovely coloured birds on, they might go for, say, tweet, 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 as a very basic starter. They might whistle, which I won't demonstrate because I'm awful at whistling. They might have different layers, so they might have, some of them might be whistling, some of them might be singing the tune. I've had a couple of groups where they've integrated the birdie song into it halfway through, but they're keeping that main theme and then they're changing it to show the scarf. Give you another example. This quite swish scarf here. This one, as you can see, it's got sections of velvet on it, and it is chiffon as well, and it's got these lovely tassely bits. This gets one of two reactions. Either people go flamenco, and there's lots of sort of Spanish influenced music, or they go funeral, and it goes really, really slow and kind of depressing sounding, but still retaining the same tune. You can do it with any kind of object, of course. I've chosen scarves, but this activity can work equally well with, say, teacups with different patterns on. So here we've got a sparkly scarf, so we might get some sparkly sounding music. It's also blue, so we might get some bluesy sounding music, again, depending on how old your children are, what they've done before, what their musical experience is. And finally, we've got this little one, which I'm not sure if you can see in the light there, has got just really tiny little sequins running all the way through it, and also has a pattern of butterflies and flowers. So this one, you might get a sound that represented the little tiny sequins. So when we're using instruments, we've had groups where they've had things like triangles and sleigh bells playing really, really quietly alongside the tune. We've also had sort of fluttering sounds for the butterflies. So you might be thinking, okay, that's all fair enough, but what has that got to do with the interrelated dimensions of music? Well, here we go. In order to create the special sounds for your scarf, you need to use those interrelated dimensions of music, don't you? So, for example, if you're going to whistle your tune to be bird-like, you would be changing the timbre. If you were going to make your tune really slow to sound funereal, like that black scarf, then you would clearly need to change the tempo. You may also be changing the dynamic to be quite quiet, and so on and so forth. So the idea is that you can set out with an activity that on the face of it looks purely creative, looks like you've got no boundaries whatsoever, but then you can draw out from each group, why have they made the decisions that they made regarding this kind of sounds that they picked? And relate that back to musical terminology. Do you know what that's called? Do you know what this group have done here? Can anybody tell me what the word for that is? So that you can build up that understanding of the interrelated dimensions of music through your composing activities. If you'd like to know more of our ideas about composing and improvising, we have now on our website some Music 7 to 11 resource packs, which show you how to construct lessons around composing and improvising while still bringing in performing and listening and all the other areas of the national curriculum. And the ones that are particularly good for composing, have that as their main focus, are the Coast pack and the Space pack, which you can find at www.musiceducationsolutions.co.uk/resources.